Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for spending time with me. Today we are going to talk a little about the Delphi case and the man, Richard Allen, because I'm rather tired of the victim narrative, the poor little Ricky narrative, which so many YouTube creators have now hanged their hats on. And if you dissect it, it is mainly because he had good lawyers and a nasty judge. Nothing really to do with the actual man, Richard Allen, and even less to do with Liberty German and Abigail Williams, the true victims. At the time of the murders, Richard Allen was 44 years old. He's now 52. Richard Allen lived plus minus 5 minutes from where Liberty and Abigail's bodies were found, and he lived there since 2006. He's married and has an adult daughter. He worked as a pharmacy assistant in a CVS store and got his pharmacy license in 2018, a year after the murders. It all sounds so boringly normal, doesn't it? Well, yes, and maybe that was part of the problem. You see, Richard Allen is and was not exactly that sweet, quiet, shy family man the world is being shown and told. Not at all. And just because he is short and rather small does not mean he's cute, a real little gnome of a man. I mean, gnomes can be really nasty creatures when they want to be. You see, Richard Allen had problems, and he had those problems for a long time. Richard Allen was an alcoholic. He loved his beer, and on the day of the murders, he went to see his mother, if I remember correctly, and during the trip there and the visit, he consumed about 6 beers, and he had 3 more before he went out to the bridge, allegedly, according to Richard Allen himself. Richard Allen and often his wife used to also frequent the brick and mortar pub where they played pool and had drinks. According to bartenders, he did not speak much, but he was also not an awkward wallflower, as we can see by a little dance he did after a good pool shot in a video which is now available on social media. But that is not all. There are many people who like their drink and never willfully kill anyone. No, Richard Allen also had a sex addiction and a liking for pornography. Again, so do many other people, and not only do they sometimes not live out their fantasies, but very seldom do they commit murder. But Richard Allen also suffered from bouts of depression, or as I read through the papers and listen to behavioral analysis, I'm more inclined to say that he suffered from neuroticism, which is a tendency to experience negative emotions and thoughts, anxiety, anger, and to a lesser extent, depression. It also appears that Richard Allen suffered from low self-esteem. Now put all of that together in one pot: low self-esteem, neuroticism, drinking, and sex addiction, and not only do all of it go hand in hand, but it also makes for a very lethal mixture. Poison, to say the least. Now here's an example. The man has low self-esteem, therefore he turns to pornography as an outlet and or alcohol. And because he deems himself not enough to pursue real relationships, the obsession with pornography leads to fantasies, and eventually friends and or alcohol gives him the courage to try and play out a specific fantasy. One of the most shocking revelations I've found, in which I'm so surprised that no one ever looked deeper into it, is the fact that Richard Allen at some point in his life used the alias Craig Ross Renfro, or Renfrow, Rentfrow. Nowhere can I see or find out why he did that. Is the alias something he used on, say, porn sites? Or where did it come from, and why did he use an alias? For what? And after we had questioned all of this, we also have to remember that witnesses saw a black 2016 Ford Focus in the vicinity, and Richard Allen was the only person with a black Ford Focus registered in Carroll County. A bullet consistent with one from his gun was found at the crime scene, and let's not forget, Richard Allen confessed. Why would he lie about something which could and did cause him to spend the rest of his life in jail? I spoke to someone in the medical field about Dr. Waller's report, and he actually added to it for me. Number one, he thinks Richard Allen is a manipulator, someone who from early on learned to use his small stature and gnome-like face to his advantage. Number two, he thinks Richard Allen's extreme weight loss in the first few months of being in prison is in large part due to the fact that he was no longer drinking. Well, beer in particular. A 570 milliliter pint of full-strength beer contains 880 kilojoules. A standard lager, 659 kilojoules, and a Heineken contains 176 kilojoules per 100 milliliters. Thus, about 550 kilojoules per 330 milliliter bottle. Obviously, there was also stress, a new environment, and maybe a lack of sleep. Number three, he says Richard Allen's extreme behavior once he was in prison sounds a little suspicious to him. Even if Richard Allen had previously suffered from neuroticism or even plain depression, as far as we know, he had never before showed any strange behavior. As a matter of fact, he was so good at hiding his alcoholism and everything else that literally everyone saw him, and I quote, as a normal and nice guy. He says some of the behavior can be attributed to alcohol withdrawal, some of it to depression and stress, but in his opinion, now please, he did not meet Richard Allen, so his opinion is purely based on what he read. Well, in his opinion, some of it was a deliberate put on to manipulate others. Even Dr. Waller also found that some of it was faked, and some clearly related to his circumstances and shock. Remember, after so many years, Richard Allen thought he was 100% out of law enforcement's crosshairs. It was a shock to him when he was arrested. I'm not not going to take this analysis any further, but I am rather fed up with creators who have a tendency to change the narrative to fit their opinion, and who can even become sarcastic when you disagree. Richard Allen was 100% capable of killing those two girls. He used a gun, which gave him power and fear to control them. For that, you do not have to be 6'3" and weigh 220 pounds. Anyway, I thought I would do my homework a bit and bring you the other side of the coin. Always remember that Abby and Libby were the victims here. They were and they will always be the victims and no one else. Okay guys, I thank you for listening and spending your time with me. I will be back as soon as possible, so until then, please take care of yourselves and stay safe. Bye.